Hyperbolic. Ramming the demon, I'm serving the fiends. Jeremiah power is bound to exceed. There is no feelings, I came here to eat. A god of destruction, I need me some wings. Senzu beans. They thought that it was all over for me. Then Cisco went through a Senzu bean. I bounced back and went on a spree. Ethan, Jeremy, Chris, and Raymond. This energy is amazing. Got energy, look at me blazing. Blue flames, I'm getting too hot. Put me on a pedestal, this energy is too godly. Dream up in space, he traveling galaxies. I'm traveling through different worlds, through different timelines, and this energy is on time. Chris popping the capsules, he pulling out long lines. Cisco get the senzu beans and then he send them to the guys. They thought that it was over, we gon' stay alive. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Son gon' be petty. I'm powered up and that's my theme song. Energy, blue flame, Ethan going 100%, so now the pain's gone. Super Saiyan, just run pushing the pen till all this paper gone. Dragon Ball Z, Chris popping them capsules, you know his time is long. Hyperbolic. Ramming the demon, I'm serving the fiends. Jeremiah power is bound to exceed. There is no feelings, I came here to eat. A god of destruction, I need me some wings. Senzu beans. They thought that it was all over for me. Then Cisco went through a Senzu bean. I bounced back and went on a spree. Ethan, Jeremy, Chris, and Raymond. This energy is amazing. Got energy, look at me blazing. Blue flames, I'm getting too hot. Put me on a pedestal, this energy is too godly. Dream up in space, he traveling galaxies. I'm traveling through different worlds, through different timelines, and this energy is on time. Chris popping the capsules, he pulling out long lines. Cisco get the senzu beans and then he send them to the guys. They thought that it was over, we gon' stay alive. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride.
Yo, mic check.
What's good, YouTube and Twitch?
Let's try it again. Yo, mic check.
Mic check 1 2.
Alright, welcome back to my, let's see, hold on, let me just take this off real quick. Alright, welcome back to my channel, people. There's the last Snow, you call me Snow for short. I'm here doing this deck profile stream with my boy that came in second place, and I came in first place. We held it down today with Gundam card game, my boy OmegaZed. Shout out to OmegaZed for getting second place.
Yeah, it's good stuff. First local tournament here in New York City. First fully constructed event as well. So we took it all.
Yeah. That definitely, it was definitely some tough matchups. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of reading going on because, you know, people don't know how to read. We out here like some Yu-Gi-Oh players that don't know how to read the whole description of a card.
Card game 101.
For real, I was having that problem every single time. But yeah, so definitely, if you guys are new to my channel, press that follow button, subscribe to my channel. Also, if you guys are already following me, make sure you follow OmegaZed on his YouTube channel as well. It's OmegaZed. I actually got it as he's in the chat room right now talking. He's on the caption as well of the video stream. So if you guys want to follow him as well, make sure y'all follow him. and let's keep this Gundam world growing, just like Fusion World. We all know Fusion World as well. If you guys need some content on that, but we definitely gonna be talking about the two deck profiles of the night. Congratulations to us, and yeah, I was gonna be funny, but yeah, I gotta be funny. I'm the champion, so I gotta come in here with the championship belt. I gotta come in with the championship belt. I'm excited. First tournament, cracking heads out here. You feel me? Nah, I did my thing, but yeah, Ken did his thing as well. Yo, we dead as this. Between the both. But you got anything to say, Ken?
No, I'm chilling, bro. I'm excited to play this game some more. You know, as a fan of the Gundam anime, not, I just look forward to like good card games. You know that we got the Dragon Ball. I played One Piece, and then it was just nice to see that Gundam was getting a card game, and just from like the beta and the demo stuff, um, we we knew that there was definitely something good here. And then as we got closer to the release and playing the game a little bit more, it just became something that I was like, this is a game that I think I can really sink my teeth into. And we showed up. We've been talking a lot of back and forth. We've been discussing a lot of cards, and first ever local at the Bronx, and we did our thing. So I'm just excited to know that this is yet another card game that I'm good at, that I can show my progress in.
Yeah, and that was definitely funny when I said that too. I was like,
I
yo,
know.
ain't you, yo, isn't there a card game that you're not good at?
Yeah, I'm not good at you.
Hilarious. Yo, yo,
So,
yo, Buck, what up, bro?
yeah, what's
Thank you.
good, Buck?
Yeah, so we definitely gonna put up this. It was 14 players, right? It was. I'm gonna
I
put it
think it
up
was
right here.
14. Yeah.
It was 14 players. First place was myself. Second place was OmegaZed. Third place as Astenax. I think that's how you pronounce it. Fourth was Bruce Almighty. Fifth was Melody. Sixth Failure. That doesn't even sound right. Sixth. Seventh Wulong. Eighth Danny. Ninth more for your Buck. That's my boy Buck. That's in the chat room as well. Shout out to him. 10th was Old Man Gundam, and then 11th was Jesus Man's 32, which I think the last three people didn't get no wins. I think they probably all went 0-3, right? Something like that.
Probably. I don't know. But they got cut off on the picture, so don't know
Yeah.
where they at.
He said he don't know where they at. Yeah, but that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna let Omega Zed talk about his deck profile. I'll post it up on the screen, and then he'll talk about it. We was trying to do it at our locals, but our locals, the minute the tournament was over, they was already kicking us out. There was no way to deal with deck profile, so it is what it is. That's why we're doing it now. Try to get it out the way, because I did it. I won in Fusion World, and I didn't post the video. I'm not letting that happen again. It's not happening. But it was definitely a great matchups, and I'm glad to see that was me and my boy on the top two. We just gotta keep on going. So
Yeah, I think if anything, I'll do like the actual like hard profile on my channel. But for now, we can do the picture, and then just get it out of the way, and then on my channel, I'll throw it up, for people to see it that way.
all right,
I'll go a little more. I can go a little more in depth on my channel. Like this is your show, so like obviously, I just wanna you can show my list. I'll go over the cards, a little bit of why I pick certain choices, and then I'll do the more in-depth one on my channel. But you can do your profile, and we go more in depth on your deck.
copy. We could definitely do that. Um, Buck says, thank you. Never played a game till today. That is crazy. Well, you got us on the Discord now, bro. So, we could definitely link up and try to get some matches in, or we could do the webcam as well if we got time. We got to get that game. We got to get our work in. So, we're going to put Omega Z's deck profile up. Let me just zoom it in real quick. Just so everybody knows, when it comes to Gundam, you can only have 50 cards in your deck. You can't have under or upper or over when it comes to the 50 cards. It has to be automatically 50 cards. So that's one thing about Gundam, which makes it a little bit kind of harder to actually build decks now, because locking in at 50 cards is not that easy. But Omega
Yeah.
Zed, take it away. You got your deck profile up on the screen.
Yep. So this is a screenshot from the app. Unfortunately, the app doesn't let you put it in like any kind of cost order. So it's kind of gonna go all over the place on my card choices and whatnot. But obviously, both Snow and I played a little bit of a different variation of the blue-white blocker control deck that everyone's kind of like been talking about. A large portion of why this deck is good because white has some really strong blockers, and they work very well with the Archangel base that allows you to pay 2 resources to restand a friendly unit with blocker. So the Archangel base lineup is kind of what the deck around. So if you look at a lot of the white cards, it's just some really good statted blockers. You have the Zawurt, level two drop. Uh, that's kind of like a 3/2 blocker. He's just a really good stat card that chump block. You have the Gundam Elfrith, who I play 4 of. He's a 2 cost, 2 attack, 4 health blocker. And just like those kind of stats are just things that you need to keep in mind, especially in a game like Gundam where you have to decide when you want to trade into another unit, or whether or not the math is in your favor to attack with a block to restand it with Archangel base, for when that can happen. The blue cards are just kind of like really good blue cards that have decent effects. You have the Alpha that can ping an opponent's rested card for 1 damage, so trying to do the trade math, or if you've blocked an attack and the opponent's card has some damage, it's a way to, on your turn, kind of like summon a guy that can kind of like KO it without having to back into it. So that's why it's very useful. You have the Rizal, who is just an insanely statted card. Is a level 3, 2 cost, 4/3 unit, which is just bonkers in a game with such a small card pool right now. He's a really good vanilla. Obviously, that he'll probably out as the game progresses, but as it stands right now, it's probably the best vanilla that blue has. You got your standard draw cards. You have a show. You have overflowing affection. Drawing 2 cards is just really good. And in a game that doesn't have a lot of draw, having basically 8 cards, draw 2 cards, dig into your deck to see your pieces. Um, and then like your top end is kind of just like Freedom Gundam. I play the one story mode. You have Gramps, the 4/3/3/4 that you can pair with Array, and just have like a really good statted card that just can do damage and punch through and get the job done. Uh, it's just like it's pretty kind of like a self-explanatory deck. I played the blue base just kind of like, I mean, not blue base. I played the blue white base, kind of like as a backup. Didn't really come up much. It was just kind of like an alternative base to get an extra card out of my hand. I think the only match the creation of the tokens actually mattered was the final match against you, Snow. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, like this is just like a very simple blue-white deck. Summon blockers, attack with them, restand them with Archangel, and just kind of like play a defensive long game until you can go for kill shot and knock out shields in kind of like one turn. And that's my deck. That's what I played today, and went 3-1 and got second place.
Yeah, it's definitely a well balanced deck, and once again, congratulations on getting on second place. And me watching you play those matchups, you definitely had some tough matchups. It's funny how we ended up playing the same the same guy, Abu. I feel bad for him, but he's like, oh no, not back to back. That was
Oh, he
hilarious.
didn't play me. I played someone else, blue white. Uh, but yeah, like he played nothing but blue white. So
Yeah. So
I think that's it.
so you had first round, you had green and white, right?
So my first round was against Blue White. That was Jesus Man's. He was playing. It was kind of like the mirror. He just wasn't able to get like the draw power. There were turns where like I played. There was one turn where I played two show Rosals and one overflowing affliction while I had wood, and like my hand was just large throughout the whole game. Just I just outvalued him across the game. So that was round one. My round two was against the green red aggro deck. Basically my strat against that one, like you kind of just have to like they're gonna waste their hand coming in low to the ground guys, and if you are smart with your on the defensive end, keep your blockers alive, take out their entire board, and eventually they just have no hand. Then they have no board. And then you just start sticking your big guys, which is kind of what I did against him. Like once he had no cards in hand and he just had a base, I just went wide. I was like, there you go, yeah, good game. Uh, and then my third round was against Donald Green, the Astanianex player who got third. Uh, Pretty well balanced deck. He hit me really hard with a lot of the Gelgood, Char, Asnable combos because they get the high maneuvers from my blockers. But kind of the same strat against Red. I just try to defend as much as possible, and then try to do as much even trades. So eventually they have no hand, and my draw power just gives me all the cards that I need. And then the last one was you. So I think we could take a look at deck now, and then you can go over your matches, and we could talk final match.
Copy. We could definitely do that. So just so you guys can actually see, like I said, it's a well balanced blue and white deck. Chris over here saying it's a blue white meta. You could definitely say that because if you've seen Eggman's tournament, 50% of the people was actually on blue and white, but it just depends on how you build the your deck, because at the end of the day, every color has at least two types, right? Two types of archetypes. Because I know white itself has Academy and Earth Alliance, right? And
hmm
then blue has Oz and Earth Federation. Green has Operation Meteor with Xeon, and then red has Zaft and Neo Xeon, something like that, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, so it's basically it the color itself is definitely strong, but the person actually winning Eggman's tournament was green and white. So I guess that's what we thought we was gonna walk into, but it was a lot of mirror matches at the tournament. Um, we did see a couple of like different colors variations in there, but it was definitely a good tournament. We really thought we didn't think it was gonna be that much because Tuesdays at that at our local spot don't really hit, but it hit, and then hopefully tomorrow's another day, and we probably pull up again. Maybe if I got free time, maybe Omega Zed. I hardly doubt it because he got his One Piece that he gotta be doing.
yeah. I gotta run One Piece at my level. I am not tomorrow. Tomorrow will
Yeah.
be all you, I guess.
Yeah. So let me put this down. Let's talk about my first place deck profile. Like Omega said that if you want to hear about his second place deck profile in depth, he's definitely gonna do a YouTube video about it. So you guys don't forget to subscribe to his channel and actually watch it once he posts it. So that's why he kept it like a little bit brief. But we definitely gonna talk about my deck profile right now. Then we're gonna talk about each round that I had and the matchups, and then I'll put the standings up because I really don't remember everybody or where they landed at on my matchups. But and then we'll talk about the championship round between myself and Omega Zed. So let me just switch the screen real quick. Turn the camera on, my secondary camera. So we're gonna start off with the pilots. Let's start off with the pilots because when it comes to Gundam, you gotta build around your pilots. You can't build on. Well, this is how I basically do my my deck builds. Is actually go with pilots. A lot of people like starting with units, and I don't feel like units is actually what you gotta work on first. Like how you do your deck profile, Omega.
So for me, I think the thing when it comes to deck building, just in general, like you definitely do have to build around pilots that you have. I also find that working around a specific base, like the type of base you play, leads to the units you want to play, and then you want to have pilots for your unit. Kind of all like works in conjunction with one another. But the pilots are definitely important, especially if you're looking for certain pilots that give your unit stats, certain pilots that have really good effects. Because there are definitely pilots in, just because of what they do and what they offer in terms of the game. Like something that I'm sure you'll see between both of our profiles. Uh, Something like the Amor Array. It doesn't matter what you put them on in terms of a unit. Whenever it's linked to a unit, it's that comes a lot in this game. Such an important part of the blue strat.
No.
Things like that come up. So like, yeah, pilots are definitely important. I think the base is also want to make sure the units, like I said, the stats kind of matter more than the effects do in a way. But you definitely also want to make sure that what your pilots do and what they offer. Like there's just a lot of all three of the main cards in your deck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chris says I want to make something with red. You definitely can. Red is kind of good. You could do red and white. You could do red and blue. You could do red and green. Don't try to do all red. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna go that far.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The only decks that has the potential to actually play at mono will be blue by itself and white by itself. But even at that, you're still kind of like missing a certain pieces that you might need from another color. But red is definitely a good color for like piercing damage and stuff like that. You just gotta match it up to where exactly you want to match it up with. Like I said, every color has two different type of archetypes, so it all depends on what you wanna, if your main core is gonna be red, pull out the red what you want to build for, and then you gotta work around it. So like if you're gonna go with the red aggressive side of it, then I guess try to balance it out with like maybe red defensive side, maybe the red and white academy. I'm not sure about blue and red. I just feel like that doesn't really click to me.
There's I think it needs more cards, but if you look at the blue red, especially built around the new type um, traits and whatnot, there's definitely something. Have a lot of cards that do direct damage. You have you have blue cards that do damage to rested units. You have red cards that just flat out do damage with commands as opposed to the actual units themselves. But there's something there for blue red. I think if you're looking for a nice low to the package, red green is really good. Best thing about the red green low to the ground package is you don't need any LR. Like the deck is literally under $40. It's just all like the little, level threes, level two, really good stats that you can just turn the guy sideways and swing through. Good combination of direct damage and breach effect. This is really low to the ground and really fast.
Copy. Yep. So we're gonna start it off with the pilots, like I said. The first pilot I'm playing four of. Let me put it exactly where you guys can actually see it, because my camera's gonna be in the way. You have the Moral Ray. It's a level 4 1 cost. It's a +2 attack, +1 and health power. I definitely like this pilot because for the fact that the minute you get to pair this with a unit on the board, it gets a rest of 5 or less. And what your key goal is to rest a blocker. Because usually everybody likes to play blockers, so you want to get as many swings as possible to your opponent's base. Or if he has some rested units on the board to actually apply pressure on, you can definitely do that as well. Definitely Amaro overall. Amaro overall is the best pilot in the game right now. Yeah, I feel like he's definitely the best pilot in the game because he does the whole resting and it gives you the 2+ attack. Any weak body, any not weak body, any weak unit that you have could go up to 4 or maybe 5 on plus an attack. So definitely one of my best and favorite um, pilot. My second pilot I'm playing 4 of the Kira Yamato. Am I pronouncing it right? I think I'm pronouncing it right.
It's Kira Yamato.
Kira Yamato. Level 4, 1 cause is the same. It's the same as Amaro. It's a +2/+1. But the only difference is that every time you attack and this pilot is under that unit, you get to choose one unit on your opponent's side. It gets -2 on the attack power. So that's definitely good. Like if you're trying to do exchange on swings, like unit to unit, you're already deducting 2 of your opponent's attack power. So most likely you get to survive. You get to survive on the battle, but definitely a good secondary pilot that you can actually play. This pilot, I play a third pilot. This pilot, I definitely had it at 3. And last minute, I definitely changed it because I feel like it's so good to have. I'm playing 4 of the Behringer Lynx. It's a level 5 1 cost, but it's a 2/2, 2 attack, 2 health power. And if you actually link this to the right unit, you get to draw a card. Usually, you'll see that when we get in depth into my deck profile, you'll see that the link part is definitely good because you get to draw. Blue and white combination is a lot of draw power, but I kind of tweaked it up a little bit, so hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from when we continue talking about the deck profile. But this is definitely a good pilot to actually have as well, because 2/2 is definitely crazy. Like you can't go wrong with a 2/2. Yes, you gotta wait till you get 5 resources to actually use them, but it's definitely good. It is definitely a good pilot to actually have, and I'm running 12. I was running I was running 11. Well, I was actually running 10 at one point, but I felt like you want to get more in depth with your units to actually survive at least over one close combat with a unit. So I definitely play in 12. So definitely a well balanced deck. When it comes to command cards, that's gonna be my next up. A lot of people play 4 of each. I actually cut it down to 3. I got 3 of the overflowing affection. Is level 2 1 cause. You draw 1. You draw 2 cards and then you discard 1. It's a good card, but I find myself in a situation that if I get this early and I don't have a card in my hand that I really want to discard, like in one of my matches, I actually used this early. I ended up discarding a card that I didn't want it to do, and then it almost cost me a turn, like to have a unit on the board to like actually apply pressure to my opponent. But you know, it's a scary card. I like it because it's draw, but to discard 1 card out your hand, I just feel like it's kind of iffy. So that's why I stopped playing this at 4. So I'm playing this at 3. I still get the draw power. My blue and white deck still gets draw power. Next command card, I'm definitely playing 3 as well. I'm playing a show resolve of resolve. Level 4, 3 costs. And once you activate it, you draw 2 cards. I know you guys actually seen a lot of deck profiles that everybody's playing 4 and 4. But there's a reason why I actually cut it down to 3 and 3. And I'll let you guys know why I actually cut it down to the way it is. But I definitely, I feel like having too many draws kind of slows you down in a turn. And one of my matches, that's what actually happened. That actually slowed down my opponent's turn, and I just kept building up more and more units on the board. The good thing about it, when we talk about in depth about the matchups that I had, is that he had other command cards that actually slowed down my plays as well. But yeah, I'm playing 3 and 3 for the draw power. The reason why I cut them down into 3 and 3 because I needed to add 2 of these. I am playing 2 of the unforeseeable unforeseeable incident. This is definitely a great card to have because this cuts down. It's a 3 cost level. It's a level 3 1 cost command card. Burst. You activated its main. You can activate it on main on action. Choose one enemy unit. And it gets -3 and attack power. So like if you're exchanging with a blocker or a card on a unit or your opponent's unit with your unit, and you don't want to lose one of your units on the board, you definitely activate this. You always want to at least have one resource up to make sure that you actually use this. I use this early game, I use this mid game, I use this late game. It definitely helps out a lot. I needed to add this into the deck, and it definitely does justice. It helped me out in plenty of my matches today, and yeah, so definitely this is definitely a must to actually have into the deck. So now we're gonna go to the bases. I am playing two of the white base 3 cost, level 3 2 cost, and what it does is that every once per turn you can tap 2 of your resources and play 1 token. Depending on how many bodies units, I keep saying bodies, units on the board, you can actually summon a token. So like, let's say if you have no units on the board, you tap 2, you summon a 3/3 token. Or if you have a body on the board, you can summon a 2/2 token. Or if you have more than one body on the board, you get to summon a 1/1 token. So that's definitely not that bad to actually use. And I had it at 3, but I had to adjust it for the other base that I have, which is amazing for this deck. I'm playing 3 of the Archangel, level 3 1 cost. Basically, once per turn, I get to tap 2 energies and restand one of my blockers, and that blocker cannot attack for the turn. So the good thing about it, and this base actually helped me out in plenty of my matches, because basically I would swing with my big body blocker and then leave 2 energies up, tap it, and restand my blocker. Now they can't attack it directly, or they can't attack my blocker directly or attack my base directly because I have the block on the board. So that's definitely good. So they're gonna have to second guess on how they want to play their turn, and especially if you have something like this in your hand to deduct 3 off their attack power, that's definitely good as well. So let's talk about the units, the favorite part of the deck. I'm playing 4. A lot of people actually play 3. OmegaZed actually played 3 of this card, but I'm actually playing 4 because I definitely like this card as a blocker. It's a 2 level 2 2 cost Zoar. Is a blocker, 3 attack power, 2 health power. The only bad thing about this card is that you cannot attack directly to your opponent's base or shield. It can only attack units on the board, which a lot of people was having that difficult problem today with not understanding what that means when you actually read the card. That they kept trying to attack me directly, and I kept telling them you can't. This card, the only bad thing about this card is that you can't attack lead. You only can attack board, which is not that bad, because if it stays alive, it's a attack power of 3. Off of 1 swing, he'll probably die, but he's definitely doing damage to one of your opponent's units. And your opponent is definitely gonna be scared on swinging on your base, because this is actually on the board, and I'll let you guys know on my matchups and how this actually helped me out. Next up, I'm playing 4 of the Gundam Lirith, or however you pronounce it. Is a level 3 2 cost blocker. Is attack power of 2, health power of 4. Basically, he will actually survive off of 1 swing. If you're playing against a rush deck that likes to have a lot of 2 attack power or 3 attack power, he'll definitely survive, but he's definitely going to be exchanging damage to your opponent as well. And if this is going to have to be resolved by getting it removed off the board, your opponent is going to have to attack it again, but they still be taking damage as well. So this is definitely one of the best blockers, early best blockers in the game. I definitely love it. You should have it at 4. Anything less than that, I think you'll be screwing yourself up on that. Next up, I am playing 3 of the Rezo. It's a level 3 2 cost vanilla. It's a attack power of 4 and a health power of 3. Definitely a good card to have early game on the board, because your opponent's base is at 3 already. So swinging with this, it will actually go over. And even if you're going against a blocker, like if you're going to the mirror match, this is actually a health of 4. This is actually an attack of 4. So they'll just be canceling each other out, which is fine, because now y'all both don't have a unit on the board. So now y'all both have to start from scratch again. And maybe, you have an advantage that your opponent does not summon another unit and you actually can. That'll definitely be good as well. Next up, I'm playing 2 of the Gundam, the original Gundam, Grandpa Gundam, level 4, 3 cost. I definitely had this at 3, but I definitely put it down to 2. I would love to have this at 3. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to have this card at 3, but it's just rough. Like when it's a locked in at 50 card deck, you have to like try to figure out how to squeeze in a third one. But I feel like 2 should be fine. 2 should be fine. Amara Ray is definitely fine. Just imagine Amara Ray for somebody else. So that means you have 2 open Amara Rays that you can actually bump into another pilot. I mean, to another unit and activate his effect to rest the body on the board. Concession definitely have to be made in deck construction. Oh, definitely a good card because he actually repairs at the end of the turn by 2. So you have to monetize. You have to pick and choose the battles that you want to be swinging with this guy because you don't want to die after the first turn. So you definitely want to attack a body that you can repair the 2 and still survive for the next turn. And at the same time, while this Gundam is actually paired, not linked, paired. So it could be paired with any of my 12 pilots, and every unit on the board on my turn gets +1 attack power. That's definitely good, applying a whole lot of pressure to my opponent. So let's talk about the next unit I have. I'm playing 2 of the Perfect Strike Gundam. A lot of people actually likes playing 3. I feel like 2 should be fine. Because I feel like the deploy part, a lot of people like to play because of the deploy part. I'm not playing towards the deploy part. I feel like a level 5 3 cost is not that bad. 4/4 blocker is definitely good. The deploy part that I get to choose one enemy unit with 1 health power and return it back to the hand. Sometimes I really don't feel like doing that because if they have pure damage and they whatchamacallit, if they have the pilot under it and they took so much damage to make them go back to the hand and then for them to summon it again is definitely a problem as well. So you want to like try to minimize bouncing stuff back to your opponent's hands. So I definitely only playing 2 of these. It's a great blocker. Don't get me wrong. It's a great blocker. I could definitely put Kira under this, and he could definitely swing on the same turn that he summoned. So it's definitely good. But that definitely a good card. But I'm only running 2 of. Like I said, it's a 50 card deck, and I needed to like make space for everything that I wanted to play. Next up, we're playing 4. I feel like this is one of the best blockers in the game. Air Strike Gundam, playing 4 of those. Is a level 5 4 cost blocker. It's a 4 attack power, 4 health. When paired with a level 4 higher pilot, choose one enemy unit with 4 or less health power, return it back to your opponent's hands. So definitely this helped me out a lot because I kept bouncing back blockers. Definitely slowed down my opponent because it definitely says pair. It don't have to be linked. I could pair it with any pilot that's level 4 or higher, and his effect pops off, right? So that's the key to the game when it comes to playing him. Just try to slow down your opponent's summonings. So many multiple bodies on the board, and then try to have enough blockers on the board that if you swing with him, you got enough blockers to protect him, so like that you don't get to lose him. Because this is definitely a good blocker to have on the board. And the minute he comes on board, I swear to God, he was a problem with everybody. Everybody was really getting upset. They was like, oh my God, there he goes. And at one point, I had 2 of these on the board, and they didn't know what to do with it. And it's definitely a good card. Definitely one of the best blockers in the game right now. Next up, I was undecisive about playing this card, but I'm only playing 1. I feel like 1 is enough. I found myself actually playing this at the right time in one of my matches, and I'm playing 1 of the Unicorn Gundam, Unicorn mode, level 5 4 cost unit. During Link, so basically Barringer Lynx is the Link pilot for this. So during the Link, if this guy dies, the pilot itself comes back to my hand, but I'll have to discard a card from my hand. So he's a 4 attack power, 3 health. A lot of people like playing this 2 to 3 because they want to go with the next card that I will talk about in a few. but I feel like one should be fine. It's situational to certain plays. A lot of people see blue and white and they're gonna see that this card is actually in the deck. So I really threw a lot of people off today that they really thought I was playing multiple of these, and I really don't. I feel like one is enough because I feel like this is too much of a high of a cost. Level 5, level 5 4 cost body when you can actually summon something else that has higher attack power and health power. It's definitely a better thing. And then his effect only works on one Link pilot. You got a 50 card deck, and only 4 pilots that I got in my deck actually connects to this. So it's definitely not, I feel like one should be enough. Or don't even play the card at all and play something else, because that was my idea as well. But that's right now I got one. So it definitely came in handy. Next up, one of my best and favorite cards in the deck. I'm playing 2 of, and I wish I could play 3. I wish, but I don't have 3. Play 2 of the Freedom Gundam. Definitely one of the best blocker slash boss unit in the game. It's a level 7 5 cost Freedom Gundam blocker. When paired, well, during paired, so you're going to use it once per turn. When you pair this pilot, when you pair a pilot with this unit, you basically choosing one of your opponent's units, and it gets -2 on attack power, and then your stat line is attack power of 4, health power is 6. So it's not going to be easy to remove this body, especially if you actually put a Array, which I have 2 extra ones floating around. He gets to rest the body, and then I can actually probably swing at the body, right? Swing at the body with with -2, right? But I will be at 7 health, but at 6 attack power. And then if I have 2 resources up, I tap 2 with the base card, the base card that makes me restand the blocker. Definitely a good card to just restand. Now I got a full-blown blocker again. So now your opponent is gonna have to figure out how they want to address my board when everything is just basically standing, or maybe I got something else on the board that's actually rested. All right, so definitely a good card. I wish I had it at 3. I've seen a lot of people play this at 4, but it's definitely, if you're playing white, I feel like this should be a go-to to your deck. It's an expensive card. I think it's like $30 right now, but it's definitely a card that you should have. I'm not gonna lie. Last but not least, I'm playing 3 of these cards. I had it at 2. I've seen a lot of people playing 1, but I feel like 3 should be fine. Or you could go down to 2. Doesn't really matter. If I do end up getting another Freedom Gundam, I'll definitely take one of these out to actually put it. But to top it all off, my 50 card deck, I'm playing 3 of the Unicorn Gundam Destroy Mode, level 7, 6 cost. So basically his effect is, when playing this card from your hand, you may destroy one of your link units with Unicorn mode and his card name with the level 5. There's a level 5. If you do, play this card as of 0 cost and 0 level, right? So basically it's this card right here. So this is the go-to combo when it comes to this card, right? Let's just pull this out. So basically you summon this, you link it to the Behringer, right? You draw a card because that's the link, right? You swing, they block, whatever, you survive. Now you get to pop this to free summon this. But remember, the effect of Unicorn is that I could bring this back to my hand by discarding another card out of my hand. So let's just say this gets popped, I discard something out of my hand. He's already on board for free. I can actually use it again. And it's the link again, so that means I get to draw another card. Now, every time he swings, he gets to rest a body on the board. So now, let's just say they only got 1 blocker. Rest that blocker, swing, pressure, call it a day. And he turns into a +7 attack and then 6 health, which is not that easy to remove from the board. So that's my deck build, guys. A 50 card deck. If you guys definitely like it, I definitely have it here. You guys could just rewind the stream back and actually see what I have. I most likely will change probably like 1 to 2 cards out of the deck, because there's another card that I really wanted to add into the deck and I couldn't because I couldn't find the space. But I definitely like the deck highs build. Um, you know, I see a lot of mirror matches. I already had the mindset that there was gonna be a lot of mirror matches, and I just wanted to avoid going toe to toe with the same cards and everything else. So I try to tweak it a little bit so I can actually see a total difference. So this is my deck profile. I just wanted to talk about it. But let's go back to the screen, right? So we're gonna talk about round for round that I had. Let me just take this camera out. So let's talk about my first round, and he's on the board. Hopefully you guys can actually see it, right? So my first round was Duong that landed at 7th place. So that round, he was, I did not know what he was actually playing. It was looking like he was actually playing an all white deck. It kind of threw me off because I didn't know what he was actually playing. But then he started to summon the level 4 3 cost Azu. I think that's what it's called. The one that every time he attacks, if he's at attack power of 5, he gets to do 3 damage to a body on the board. So he kept like insisting on playing that card over and over again. I'll get to bounce it, and he just kept playing it again with the Zaft pilot with that it goes with. And just kept going, doing the same routine over and over again. And it just got to the point that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to attack it directly. Because taking 3 damage every single time he gets on board with the pilot becomes a real hassle. So I definitely wanted to do some damage. And then to the point that he just was dry on the pilots. He kept summoning a lot of units with no pilots. So I took advantage because I started building up the board with blockers. And I would swing. Then I used the base effect to tap 2 to restand one of my blockers, and then summon a little small blocker. So it definitely was a lot of exchanges. And then when I saw that his hands was getting smaller and smaller, I just tried to avoid like attacking so aggressively, because the last thing that I need is that I swing with all my bodies, I got no protection for my life, and then he just starts attacking my body. And especially that he's running red. Ren does a lot of piercing damage, so I definitely wanted to avoid that as well. And I definitely did good to actually come out on top with that. Um, the minute that he only had 1 body on the board, I had 4 bodies with 10 resources up. He didn't know what to do, and he just said, "You know what? You can have the game." So that was my first round. My second round was actually the 6th place failure, aka Abu. Definitely was a funny matchup, right? Because every time he actually summoned a body, so let's like at the early game he kept summoning Strike Dagger, right, which is level 2 cost, attack power of 3, right, with the health power of 2. But every time he summoned him, I had Zooff, however you pronounce it, blocker on my hand. So every time he swung with Strike Dagger, I block it. So now we both cancel each other out from the board. So now we starting again. Then next turn he summoned another Strike Dagger. I summon another Zooff. He swings and I block it again. Now we both are back to 0. Then it got to the point that he skipped the turn and then summoned a body. That's when I summoned Air Striker, no pilot, just left him there, just in case if he wanted to swing. Then he summoned, I forgot what he summoned. Oh, he started summoning his grandpa units. So started drawing his cards, applying pressure on building hand size, but then I summoned an airstrike again, and I just kept building up a board of blockers that he couldn't go through them, and he tried to like bounce them, like trying to rest them. But even if he rest them, every time he was in a tough situation, he just basically sacrifices units to knock my units off the board, which was definitely fine. But he found himself in a situation that I used this card, which is -3 attack power, and he gets to lose his unit, but I kept to survive mine. So that was definitely good. It got to the point that I had going to game. He had only one Grandpa Gundam on the board, no pilots, no cards on hand, and then I had 5 units on the board, and he only had one shield and two life left. So that's definitely was good as well. He called it. Definitely got the second win. That was my round 2, and he was playing blue and white. So first round was red and white. Next round was blue and white. So like I said, you're gonna see a lot of mirror matches. So I was already prepped for it. Third round, I actually played Bruce Almighty. Definitely was a tough matchup because he gets to see all his draw power. He at early game he kept drawing every time, and he was playing a card that I was thinking about putting into my deck, but I feel like it was a high cost. But seeing him play it made me realize that card is definitely good in situations. So he definitely, I forgot the name of the card. I wish I had my cards on me. It's a 5 cost. It's a level 5 2 cost. Basically, um, on action, he gets to use that card to bounce back a health power of 5 or less on the board back to my hand. So every time I summon an arrow strike and try to swing, he bounced it back to my hand. And then I had to re-summon again. But at the time that he kept doing that, he kept summoning bodies. To the point he had one base and 5 life, and I was down to 2 life. I feel like, excuse me. I feel like that matchup was all him, but I just kept insisting on switching up the strategy. All right, I got 2 life left. Let me start planning out. So what I started doing, applying pressure. That I already saw that he used all his draw power at the beginning of the game. He kept summoning aggressively a lot of bodies on the board. I kept resting them. I kept bouncing them back. No pilots on hand. So every time he summoned him, he had to wait a turn. So I kept applying pressure to the board. But yeah, I was down. I was really down. I didn't see none of my bases. Nothing was on burst. All my life was no burst. Everything was going straight to the discard pile, and I was getting highly upset. But then I started to summon, and that's when Unicorn Gundam came in and started applying the pressure. Swung with him, draw a card, right, and then used the battle mode, destroyer mode, to rest the pilot. I mean, to rest the blocker, start applying pressure to the board, and I just kept doing that to the point that when he was down to at least 2 life, I summoned my Freedom Gundam, swung, tapped the base to restand him again. Because I already saw that on the base, on the life that he drew Mara Ray, which we already know that actually rest is of level 5 or lower. I had 2 blockers on hand. So I had to decide to summon 2 blockers, right? But one of them is going to automatically get rested. Or summon Freedom with the pilot. He gets attacked the same turn. Tap the for the base to restand the blocker again and call it a day. So this is where the mess up happened. He summoned a 2-drop Zoar and activated Amara Ray and thought he could actually rest my Freedom Fighter with Freedom Gundam, which he can't because it has to be level 5 or lower. My guy's level 7, right? So that's where it came to a conclusion that he tried to swing with Zoar, couldn't, because Zoar cannot attack directly. He can only attack board. So he misplayed. I don't know what else he had in his hand, but he really misplayed on that turn, because if he would have gotten at least he could have put me down. I had 2 life left with 1 blocker. So he could at least try to put me down to 1 at least. But it would have cost him the game. If he would have summoned like another body that can actually attack as well. But I still felt like I had the matchup down to the wire. A lot of like Kenneth pulled me to the side. He said, "Yo, you could have lost that game. This is the third." But I was counting on how many cards he had in his hand. I felt like I went with the right decision on, summoning Freedom, attacking, then restanding again. Like it was at one point I had like 4 bodies on the board and I didn't swing. That my opponent was like, "Why didn't you swing?" I was like, "Cause I'm not giving you a hand. You just burned through all your draw power. I only got 2-3 cards on hand. I'm not giving you a hand." Because the first life that I hit him, he ended up getting a base. Now he got a base and a card from his life back to his hand. So now I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna continue blowing up his base and leave it like that for the minute that I do have enough bodies on the board and start attacking for game, which I definitely did. He misplayed on the Zoar, and he swung with the two. He swung with the two Grandpa Gundams, but I still had one life left, and next turn was gonna be me game. He had no blockers and everything else, so it definitely was a great matchup, and it ended up to the final round. And the final round, you already know it was me against OmegaZed. It was definitely a toe-to-toe battle. OmegaZed, I don't know if you're still there, but I want to hear your input on that matchup.
I mean, it was a very solid match. I think it was pretty even for the most part. It just boiled down to who was going to run out of steam first. And if you look at how like the game started off and how it progressed to the end, I think we both started off pretty even towards the end. As the trade started becoming more relevant, you were just able to have better trade results in maintaining your board while getting behind, which put you ahead. And eventually, I just couldn't, keep up. So I think that's basically how the game went.
Yeah, I definitely felt like it was a good game. It's just crazy how you just kept getting your draw power, getting your draw power, getting your. I was like, yo, this guy's about to have everything in his hand that he needs to go toe to toe with me, and I'm like, oh boy, here comes the problem. But it was definitely good with the whole airstrike Gundam going toe to toe on both ends. You bouncing back my bodies, I was bouncing back yours. So it was definitely a good matchup. I loved it. It was. I wish I could have recorded it, but my phone. I haven't got my new phone. The phone that I got now is actually cracked. I like to like record my matches and then post it on YouTube, but that's all I
Hmm.
hopefully for Saturday, if I'm end up pulling up on Saturday, I'll definitely have my camera up and running. So like that we have some matches up, and then yeah, and then we'll just take it from there. But I wanted to record like I said, but my phone screen is actually broken, so I wouldn't be able to see if I'm actually recording it right. But yeah. So congratulations to OmegaZed to getting second place. Um, Definitely a good matchup. Top two. Um, Deck list coming, not deck list. Tier list coming soon.
Yeah, we definitely got to tell you
Oh
where we think the colors land.
yeah, and I'm starting to see a lot of people doing like the tier list with like pilots. That's kind of interesting as well. To
That
actually,
is interesting.
yeah, seeing like tier list, pilot tier list. We can even do a tier list of like boss units as well. Cause we got a couple of boss units that people think that they're good. They're better than on a of a like let's just say like Justice Gundam. A lot of people feel like Justice Gundam is a little bit better than Unicorn Gundam, but like stuff like that. Not you know that's another thing that we can actually do as well.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely it. That thank you once again, Omega Zed, for tuning in. Being featured in my stream with your second place deck profile and telling us how briefly telling us about round for round and how you did, and then being here to actually do my deck profile as well and doing round for round as well. Definitely was a
Yeah,
great tournament.
I am glad to be a part of it. This community is growing. It's very welcoming, and it's a game we both love. So it's good that we can work together to achieve the same goal.
Yeah,
Animosity or anything, there's like, yo, we're here, do our best to get to the top and reap the rewards while we do so. Both very good players. This proved it today. We put our stamp on the logo that like, yo, when you come here, this is our house.
for sure, for sure. And one thing that I definitely like about the tournament today, even though I didn't get to like to face everybody, but you can actually hear it and see that everybody was enjoying the game. It's the first constructed deck, I mean deck build. It wasn't starter deck. It wasn't like sealed or anything. It was actually our first constructed tournament. And everybody was having fun. Nobody took the L. Well, let's not say nobody took the L personal. But
One guy left.
yeah, one guy walk out. That was crazy because everybody kept saying his name and everybody just kept looking around like, oh, I think he left. Like, wow, we have 2 more rounds. First of all, we had one dude today that never played in a tournament ever. That we was matching up. You remember, Kenneth, right in front of us? He's like, yo, that's it. The tournament's over, right? We was like, tournament's over. Which that's just
Oh
round
yeah,
one. He's like, oh, I never been in a tournament. This guy told me it's only one round. I was like, no, it's best of one, but it's not one round. It's depending how many people we have, it could go 3 to 4 rounds, even 5. But it
yeah,
averages 3 to 4 rounds. He's like, oh, I didn't know that, but it happens. Yo,
yeah. This game has a lot of first time, just players in general. You have some people who the only thing they've done is they
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they've been into like the Gunpla, for example, or they just watch the anime, and this is like their first card game ever. You have a lot of that happening with this.
Well, this is definitely a good card game to actually start off with. Yeah, yeah, it was the dude with the red shirt. Like he was so lost, but I'm happy that he actually like stood out and actually played the whole tournament. Even though I don't know what was his name in the bracket, but you know having fun. Everybody knew how the game works, but people still made mistakes on reading the cards, like the repairs, like this guy can't attack directly, or this is once per turn, or how does the link and the pair actually works. Which that's the biggest conversation that people keep actually having is the
Yeah,
whole pairs and linking.
yeah. I think it doesn't have that the like the starter deck rule sheet doesn't explain it in full. Like
Yeah.
unless you read the actual game rules on the website,
Hmm.
there are big differences between linking and pairing. I think the other thing that happens is people mix the two up. So what they understand as what happened in one of my matches is one of the players that I played against. They mixed up the link and pairing. So what they thought was the link is actually the pairing rule set, and what they thought was pairing was actually the link rule. I was just that's the other way around.
Yeah. Oh, and also I had in Buck's matchup that he had with his arch nemesis the white base. That dude had like about 3 tokens on the board. I'm like, yo, what is going on? So he was asking me about the link effect. Does it work if he's paired? I said no. The only thing that actually works on pair is the plus offense and plus health. If it's the link only activates if it's actually linked. So like Amari Ray, right, has it when it's paired. Choose one unit and it gets rested. It actually has to say paired, but there's some pilots that actually says it has to be on link that it has to actually be activated. Um, Link is when you put the correct unit and pilot. Pairing is when you put whatever together. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. The shit had me tilted. I'm sorry if you go. Yeah, Bandager and Unicorn is definitely a link. Amari and Unicorn will be a pair. So when it comes to pairs, you still got summoning sickness. When it comes to Link, you can actually swing on the same turn he was actually summoned and activate the effect the if the requirements are actually corrected. So yeah, that's the big difference between the both. Like that's one thing that's another thing that actually like a lot of people had questions before doing certain things. They always ask about certain plays and everything else. Once per turn, how that works. So yeah, people's learning how to read now. I'm starting to see that. People's learning how to read. Like the first of all the dumb question I asked was the Freedom Gundam because basically it says during pair once per turn. I'm like during pair once per turn. So that means I could use it once per turn. That's like, no, on pair only. I was like, oh.
Yep.
You know, you gotta ask questions, man. Not everybody's perfect. It's always it's
Yeah.
gonna we just gonna continue making that mistake, and we just gotta make sure that when it comes to the tournaments, you correct that mistake, especially when it comes to your opponent. So that's another thing. Oh, and you know what I noticed? You know what I found out too? Abu was the one that's telling me, Omega. You know the way you put your life is supposed to be from the base down, and you pick up from the life closer to you all the way up to the base, not the other way around.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just always used to picking up from like top to bottom type stuff. So
yeah,
I don't
because
know.
Fusion War is like that. But yeah, that's how it is. It actually, I'm gonna look into it. I definitely feel like if it is, then I'm gonna start paying attention to that. But if not, then it is what it is. But that's something to actually keep in mind as well. Like if we go into like regionals and stuff like that, we don't want to get
Yeah.
hit with some nonsense about, oh, you picked up the wrong card, disqualified.
Right.
Like, how about you actually pay attention to the game and stop letting cheaters do some cheating thing? Nah. Yo, like, I can't. You be catching this on camera live. Like, they literally staring at the board and they still cheat right in front of the judge, and the judge be like, huh? Oh, I guess that's right. No, it's not right.
Yeah.
No, it's not right. Yeah, you see, they say you gotta grab from the bottom to top. So, yeah, I guess that is a rule. Well, I was definitely doing it right. Yeah, so definitely good. We definitely gonna continue doing like deck profiles on other colors as well, right, Omega?
Yeah. As soon as I get more cards, then I can build something else. Because all I have is blue. So like this is all I'm gonna play until I get more cards.
Yeah, I have every color, but it's just that the LRs is, I think I'm kind of short on. Like for green, I'm definitely short on the green, but I could definitely
Yeah.
do red and white. Anything with red, white, and blue, I could definitely do. Just green, Wing Gundam, not the Wing Gundam, the other one, the eight cost one, the one that does 3 damage to everything on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I only got two of those, and then the Death Scythe, the Death Cipher. I keep selling them, so
I
I
have
get them
none
and
of
I sell them.
those.
So yeah, I got one. I already put. I gotta. I haven't checked my phone yet. If somebody actually hit me up, I'll probably just sell it to them and then send it out because I gotta go to the post office tomorrow anyways to drop off the other cards that I actually sold. So hopefully somebody actually
Right.
gets this card so I can actually do to kill two birds with one stone.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is where we're gonna end it off at, guys. I appreciate everybody that tuned into my channel. If you guys are new to my channel, press that follow button, subscribe to my channel, and the same thing with OmegaZed. Go to his YouTube page and subscribe to his channel. He does deck profiles as well. We both do deck profile for Dragon Ball Fusion World and Gundam. I think he does deck profile for One Piece as well, right?
Sometimes I'm definitely gonna be slowing down on the One Piece a bit because this game is much more preferred.
Yeah, it'd be stressful sometimes when you waiting to get to pull the right cards and you definitely you definitely don't. But it's definitely a fun game. It's a slow based game. It really starts slow, but once it starts picking up, it definitely starts to get interesting with it when it comes to this game. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for tuning into my channel. Yo, Omega, thank you for tuning in as well and actually doing this
Yeah.
deck profile with me and actually sharing your thoughts on it. You have any
Oh,
last
oh
words?
no, I'm good. Always, that's what we do here. Try to level up each other and keep each other growing and getting better at this game. Um, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I do and keep doing what you do, and we're all gonna get there. You know.
Yeah. By 3 resources and up is when it gets picked up. Yeah, by 3 resources and up is when the game starts getting picked up. Maybe by resource number 4 is when you actually start seeing those heavy swings. But thank you guys for tuning into my channel. Any other questions you guys have? Let me. If you guys are actually interested on being in a Gundam Discord channel, I'll definitely send you guys the link. Let me see. Let me send you the link. I'm gonna put the link on YouTube chat room, so you guys can actually join. The minute you guys join, I'll definitely send you the invite to Gundam, because Gundam is private, but I will need you into my regular Discord channel in order to actually get the invitation. So if you guys are interested in joining a Discord channel on Gundam or Dragon Ball Fusion World, whichever or you guys are into, or both, definitely accept the Discord link, and then I'll send you all the information that you need in order to actually be part of the Discord family. But thank you, OmegaZed, for tuning in. Appreciate everybody that tuned in as well. It was definitely a great tournament. I will definitely be going live on stream on Thursday morning. Fingers crossed. If not, then you guys will definitely see me Friday for Dragon Ball Fusion World, and then Gundam will be at my boy Ken, aka OmegaZed's local spot. I will be there. He will be there. We'll definitely have some fun again with the tournaments, and hopefully I get to record the matches, so like that, you know, we got some type of content on YouTube. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Just sit back, relax, watch the end credits, and hopefully you guys enjoy it, and see you guys in the next one. Laters.
Son will be petty.
I'm powered up and that's my theme song. Energy blue flame, Ethan going 100%, so now the pain's gone. Super Saiyan, just run pushing the pen till all this paper gone. Dragon Ball Z, Chris popping them capsules, you know his time is long. Hyperbolic.
Ramming a demon, I'm serving the fiends. Jeremiah power is bound to exceed. There's no feelings, I came here to eat. A god of destruction, I need me some wings. Senzu beans. They thought that it was all over for me. Then Cisco went through a Senzu bean. I bounced back and went on a spree. Ethan, Jeremy, Chris, and Raymond. This energy is amazing. Got energy, look at me blazing. Blue flames, I'm getting too hot. Put me on a pedestal, this energy is too godly. Dream up in space, he traveling galaxies. I'm traveling through different worlds, through different timelines, and his energy is on time. Chris popping the capsules, he pulling out long lines. Cisco get the Senzu beans and then he send them to the gods. They thought that it was over, we gon' stay alive. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up and it's time to ride. Now we powered up.